The Alabama Farmers Federation and the Alabama Farmers Cooperative proudly present Simply Southern with your hosts Jim Allen and Mary Johnson.
Good morning and thanks for joining us for Simply Southern. I'm Mary Johnson.
And I'm Jim Allen. Summer is my favorite time of year when you can go to the farmer's market and buy produce that's about as fresh as you can get without having to grow it yourself. Today we'll see how they can be good for you and for the economy.
And outdoor classrooms have become a popular trend, but at Munford Schools in Talladega County, using the outdoors to educate students is more than a trend. It's a central theme incorporated into the school buildings and the 130-acre campus. Plus, Sydney Phelps from Bonnie Plants will be here with us today to talk about things to consider for your backyard garden.
But our first stop this morning is a stirring reminder that freedom comes with a cost.
What one thing can you say about your local quality co-op store? You can trust us. You get what you need for your farm, for your lawn and garden, and the safest products for your pets. We're locally owned and operated, and you can trust that we care about our community and the people in it. So if you're a raised bed gardener, a rose gardener, or if you farm hundreds of acres, the Quality Co-op Store has exactly what you need to get the job done. All this plus friendly, knowledgeable advice. Your Quality Co-op Store. There's one near you.
Support healthy food from local farmers. Join the Alabama Farmers Federation today. Since 1921, the Alabama Farmers Federation has been the voice of farmers and rural Alabama, standing up for family values, good government, low taxes, and economic opportunity. The Federation has helped make agriculture and forestry Alabama's largest industry, accounting for 1 in every 4 jobs. Join the Alabama Farmers Federation today at any local Alpha Insurance office.
Today's farming operation is more complex than ever before, with precision agriculture becoming an integral piece to farm management. AccuField provides precision agriculture technologies and site-specific management capabilities in a simplified and interactive format, helping you put all the pieces of the farming puzzle together. For more information, visit us at www.accufield.com.
When AJ was born with a heart defect, we practically lived at the hospital. We weren't prepared for that. My Alpha customers, my Alpha family made sure we had everything we needed. Now I'm even more motivated to help take care of them. Who I am fits what I do. I am Alpha.
For the best agents in the business, call Alpha.
Gardens of Stone. For those of you who have had the privilege of visiting Arlington National Cemetery in our nation's capital, the iconic rows of white marble drive home the sacrifice our military servicemen and women in a way words can't match. The contributions of Alabama's sons and daughters who heeded our country's call is something we can all be proud of and pay tribute to with gardens of our own. These crisp rows of uniform white headstones deliver a quiet but powerful message. If you've ever seen the changing of the guard at Arlington National Cemetery, it's the quiet that stands out, so different than the combat many of the men and women buried there experienced. Well, folks, I'm not in Arlington, but Montevallo, Alabama, home to one of the state's national cemeteries.
We have 3 national cemeteries in the state of Alabama. We have one in Mobile, Alabama, one in Phoenix City, and one here in Montevallo, Alabama.
The Alabama National Cemetery in Montevallo is the newest of Alabama's veteran burial grounds, opening for service in 2009.
We have space for over 200,000 veterans and space for the next 50 years. There was a need for a cemetery that was approximately 75 miles from the surrounding areas. So they wanted something that was closer to Birmingham, Huntsville, Montgomery, and locations like that.
Military service runs throughout Herman Watkins' family. He and his wife both served more than 20 years in the United States Navy, and their son spent nearly as many years with the Army. For Watkins, his position with the cemetery is clearly more than a job.
As a society, it's our responsibility to honor the sacrifices that our men and women have given for our country If we have respect for our dead, we have a respect for our country and each other.
These stark, simple markers each tell a story. The inscriptions are simple: names, ranks, and the conflicts many of them saw.
We have one veteran that participated in World War I. He's buried here. We have numerous veterans that participated in World War II. We have veterans from Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan, and Iraq.
Small icons representing a multitude of different faiths and ideologies illustrate the power of these soldiers' belief in our nation and the freedom it represents.
We have over 60-some religious emblems that are able to be placed on a headstone. We don't question their religion. We don't question the symbols or anything. If that's what they want and we have it, that's what they can get.
For veterans who have served in active duty for 48 consecutive months and finished their service free of a dishonorable discharge, the cemetery offers the gravestone, vault, opening and closing of the grave, and perpetual care free of charge. Watkins says that many veterans remain unaware of these national cemeteries in our state.
We go to schools, we go to like Shriners meetings, we go to like the Daughters of the Confederacy, we go to any type of VAW, American Legion meeting. We go in, we talk about the cemetery, we talk about how you can be buried there and what we have that we offer to the veteran and his family members.
While the cemetery is a tribute to the service of our veterans, it also is a reminder that all of us should visit and experience. The citizenship we enjoy is a great privilege, but it comes with a cost.
Right now we have over 4,000 people buried at the cemetery. One person in every grave participating in the fight for our freedom. I think that everyone needs to come to understand that freedom is not free, and thousands of Americans made a sacrifice so that you and I can sit here and speak our mind freely without any consequences.
The cemetery is open daily from sunrise to sunset, and it's right next door to American Village.
Yes, we featured them in an earlier show, so you combine that with the National Cemetery, you gain a great appreciation for the nation we live in and the people who have served it. Up next, no, it's not a National Forest campground, but it does border one. We'll show you how the outdoors inspired a unique campus for Munford schools.
Alabama soybean farmers help fuel the state's economy. Soybeans are used to make clean, renewable biodiesel and are a key ingredient in feed for poultry, catfish, and livestock. Soybeans are used in dozens of products we use every day. But best of all, soybean farmers generate $258 million and more than 4,000 jobs for Alabama's economy, all while helping conserve our natural resources. Explore the power of soy.
For nearly 50 years, the electric cooperatives of Alabama have been giving young people an opportunity to visit our nation's capital, where they learn about the value of electric cooperatives and the importance of grassroots advocacy. Top students join with thousands of others touring monuments, landmarks, and meeting with their congressional delegation. The Rural Electric Youth Tour program. Just one more way the electric cooperatives of Alabama are investing in the future of our state.
Seriously?
Have some respect. Pick it up, man.
Did you just litter?
Take pride in your school. Pick it up, man.
Clean it up, dude.
Besides keeping your campus clean, adopt a mile with Roadside Cleanup. Attend the next Coastal Cleanup Day or pitch in on the annual Spring Cleanup campaign. Make a difference by picking up litter and...
Don't drop it on Alabama!
Support healthy food from local farmers by purchasing a Farming Feeds Alabama license plate. The tag funds education and promotion efforts, including Ag in the Classroom, agricultural scholarships, and youth programs. Get your Ag tag today.
Nothing brings the family together like U.S. farm-raised catfish. American catfish farmers are dedicated to producing a premium, healthy catfish with a consistently mild, sweet flavor. Because we take as much pride in our work as you do in your cooking. From our family farms to your family's table, you can be sure you're getting the highest quality fish. Because your family deserves the best. U.S. farm-raised catfish.
It's less than a 20-mile drive from Mount Cheaha in the Talladega National Forest to the Munford Schools in Talladega County. When the elementary, middle, and high schools were built around the turn of this century, the proximity to Alabama's highest point inspired a new kind of school, one that embraced the outdoors and required thinking outside the classroom box.
It's typical to find children's artwork and projects plastered along school hallways. But there's very little that's typical about Munford schools, where hallways are lined with educational exhibits and murals, bringing the outdoors in.
You go down the kindergarten hallway and you can press a button and you'll hear owl sounds. And it's just like a great environment for little kids to be in. And growing up so close to the Talladega National Forest, it needed to be this way. There's a map of the greater Talladega County area, mostly Munford and all, but you hit buttons and everything will light up. So like the 2 Munford schools will light up and Cheaha will light up, and it's a really fun thing to look at when you're sitting in a school.
The elementary school has more than $250,000 worth of exhibits, thanks to community sponsors and partnerships. But the unique nature of the schools is even more evident on the outside.
There's a lot of outdoor opportunities for our students, and that's what's great. As the students, I start with them in kindergarten. By the time they get to high school, they're now using project-based learning to design these outdoor classrooms.
On the 130-acre school campus, there are 12 outdoor classrooms, an amphitheater, fishing pond, nature trail, aquaculture facility, 5-tier wetland, frog pond, greenhouse, butterfly gardens, and a bluebird trail.
We've got a longleaf tree stand that we just burned a couple months ago so the kids could see a prescribed burn, and that's really great, especially now the kids can see the grass growing back up, and that the longleaf pine was really fine, because when you take the kids out there and they see the fire, they get really scared for all these trees that they just planted, and now they see that that's what the longleaf pine is designed to do, to survive the fire, where a lot of those other species of trees are not.
The dream for incorporating forestry at Munford Schools started with Johnny Ponder, who serves on the Talladega County School Board. The dream was realized through a partnership with the U.S. Forestry Service.
I believe teachers across Alabama are hungry for stuff like this. They're just as tired of 4 walls and a chalkboard and desk as the kids are. If you give a second grader, or a third grader, a kindergarten kid a choice between an iPad or a mud hole full of frogs, they're going to choose that mud hole 99% of the time. I'm telling you they will. It actually builds a better attitude in your students. And your students have developed better sports teams. Their football team is doing much better. The teachers are happier. Discipline goes down, grades go up.
Since being built in the early 2000s, the schools have become a point of pride for Munford residents, teachers, and students.
If you really think about it, schools up in Montgomery, they don't learn what you need to do in the forest. You know, they don't learn. If they go past some place that's burning trees, they think, oh my gosh, the forest is on fire. But you're like, no, they're supposed to do this. We're learning stuff that higher schools are not even learning, and that's great.
The Munford school system hopes to inspire others by hosting field trips every year, and that's not just for students. It's teachers and administrators are welcome to come so they can see what it takes to build a school like that.
Is it a private school?
You know, it's actually public. I know it looks private, but they do it all through grants and community partnerships.
Oh, it's really nice. Really nice. After the break, if you're not bringing in produce from your own garden, do you know where to buy the freshest fruits and vegetables? In some towns in Alabama, it's right on Main Street.
Alabama wheat and feed grain farmers grow food, fuel, and freedom. Their harvest helps feed Alabama's multi-million-dollar livestock, catfish, and poultry industries while reducing America's dependence on foreign countries for energy and food. By combining their strength with farmers of other commodities, feed grain growers are fueling the economic growth of Alabama communities.
If you asked Alabama school children to draw what they ate for dinner last night, where would the food have come from? Was anything nutritious? Did it build muscles? Did it strengthen minds? Was the meal enough, or was it missed? Across Alabama, 1 in 4 children don't always know where their next meal will come from. But together, we're changing that. Join the movement to end child hunger in Alabama, because every meal matters.
Join the more than 350,000 families who can save money as members of the Alabama Farmers Federation. Members get discounts at local businesses and can save on GM cars and trucks, hotel stays, child car seats, and more. For about 50 cents a week, your family could save hundreds of dollars a year. Join the Alabama Farmers Federation and start saving today. Learn more at any Alpha Insurance office.
There's simply no comparison between produce that was grown hundreds or even thousands of miles away and trucked in, and vegetables fresh from the garden. In the summer, you can enjoy that garden fresh taste even if you don't grow your own. Kevin Worthington takes us to Eufaula this week, where you can buy your groceries right there on Main Street.
From Eufaula, it's about 70 miles to Slocum, and it's more than 100 to Clanton. But during the summer, freshly picked South Alabama tomatoes and Chilton County peaches are available every Thursday in downtown Eufaula. As in communities around the state, farmers markets bring vine-ripe produce straight from the farm to the people who'll eat it.
Well, I know who's growing it. I know where it's coming from. I only buy American anyway. Even in the grocery store, I never, buy something from China or anywhere else. But yeah, I like homegrown.
You think it's just the fresh produce, knowing fresh local, getting it from where, your local farmer, getting it directly from them rather than the grocery store. But also farmers markets have become more of a community center where people come together to socialize, and you'll come down and see people that you haven't met in years or seen in years and talk to them. That's really an interesting aspect of farmers markets that I've seen develop being involved with them. But it's really that connection with your local farmer and getting that produce from them.
Cassie Young sells produce directly from her farm along US 431 just outside of Eufaula. But she says farmers markets are an important part of her overall marketing plan.
Right now you're getting a funnel of customers all at once. So it's great for, one, for us to come to Eufaula too, because a lot of times it's harder for people to get out to the farm. So we're doing a lot of business in a short amount of time with customers that normally wouldn't come out. So the orchard, we're doing slower business throughout a whole week. So this is great. This is your customers right here in a 3-hour period, and you're doing 2 days worth of sales.
In addition to buying fresh fruits and vegetables from their neighbors, shoppers say the market is a real shot in the arm to the city's downtown revitalization effort.
I was driving in and couldn't find a parking place. So that's a huge plus for our downtown area. We wanted something that would attract people from the highway to show them what Eufaula has to offer as far as fresh vegetables and farmers market.
Besides the convenience of shopping right outside their front door, local business owners are welcoming the additional shoppers back to the downtown area.
It's a wonderful thing to show that the downtown is becoming more vibrant and attracting locals from not Eufaula but all around the community. Yeah, people get to see where our new location, and they can come in and get iced coffee or iced tea while they're shopping around, and come in and see what we have also.
While farmers and communities agree to the economic benefits of farmers markets, many companies like Alpha Insurance are finding that allowing growers to sell directly to their staff basically amounts to an added employee benefit.
I think it's a great opportunity for Alpha employees to get to sample all of the different farm fresh products that we have here in Alabama, and it's just a nice way to be able to get everything taken care of during the day, actually, not having to leave work and worry about everything you have to get distracted by at the grocery store, and just come down here and get to pick fresh products and that you know that are going to be delicious when you cook them.
Markets in Alabama operate while fresh local produce is in season, which is generally June through August. For Simply Southern, I'm Kevin Worthington.
You can find a local farmers market by going to the Alabama Farmers Market Authority's website at fma.alabama.gov. You know, there are over 150 farmers markets around the state.
There's so many options, and that 150 doesn't even include some of the U-Pick farms and the roadside stands in the state as well.
They're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
When we return, Sydney Phelps from Bonnie Plants is out of the garden and in the studio to answer some questions that will hopefully be helpful to you and your backyard garden.
Taking care of your children is the most important thing in life. My husband had taken out a life insurance policy. I knew that my children were going to be provided for.
My sister and I both were able to go to college with the life insurance that my father had purchased from Alpha. And now I feel the need to protect my family the same way that my father protected us.
Joseph's got a policy with Piper now. That's 5 generations, all with the same agent. And Alpha's the only place we want to be.
For service and savings, call Alpha.
There's no such thing as downtime when you own a farm. This is your land. You tend it and try to get the most from it, no matter the weather or time of day. It's been that way for generations. And for generations, your local quality co-op store has been there for you, with a full range of agriculture supplies and services, from feed to fertilizer, seed to grain storage, and the right hardware for any application. You'll always find what you need, plus friendly, knowledgeable advice at your local quality co-op store. There's one near you.
Support healthy food from local farmers by purchasing a Farming Feeds Alabama license plate. The tag funds education and promotion efforts, including Ag in the Classroom, agricultural scholarships, and youth programs. Get your Ag tag today.
We believe a plant should be more than a plant. This one is. It's all you need for your garden to succeed. Because it's a Bonnie plant. It represents hundreds of varieties of Bonnie's quality veggies and herbs. But more, it's from generations of Bonnie people who are passionate about sharing their love of gardening with you. Look for this little Bonnie plant and a whole family of plants like it in your garden center. Bonnie Plants, so you'll know how to grow.
Sydney Phelps with Bonnie Plants is out of the garden and in the studio today to answer a few questions about gardening. Sid, we got a lot of young people beginning to garden. What's some advice you could give them?
One thing when somebody is starting out gardening, they need to really plan ahead. I know it sounds simple, but a lot of people kind of get shell shocked when they go to the store and they want to get this, they want to get that, and then when they get home they realize maybe they've got too much for their space. They haven't plotted it out. So they really need to look at how they want to garden, whether it be in the ground, a raised bed, or in a container, depending on the size they have available. And then also from there, really plan out. What are you wanting to garden? Why are you gardening? Are you wanting fresh tomatoes, peppers? Are you wanting it for a particular style, like a grilling garden, or what do you need? So you really need to plan that out, and that will allow them to get the most out of their garden whenever it comes time to harvest anything.
So if you're a first-time gardener, what's kind of the realistic expectation for your harvest? Should you be looking at getting a whole bunch of tomatoes, or?
Well, depending on, that goes back to the planning part. You can really utilize that space so well and get the most out of it. You can start with early season crops like your lettuces, so you get those fresh salads where you'd be buying normally bag salads. And then you turn into your tomatoes and peppers for your summer crops. And depending on what style, whether it be an indeterminate or determinate, they'll bear a majority of their fruit or throughout the season. And the same with peppers. The peppers are going to bear and get ready. And then once that's over with, they can turn into squash. So one small 4x4 area can produce several pounds of produce that can save the average homeowner or gardener.
Say I go down to the store and I get a Bonnie tomato plant or a Bonnie pepper plant. How long before I have a tomato or a pepper?
That's the biggest thing that people should think about is the timing. Now, on all of our labels and everything, we tell you that it's ready in 65 to 75 days. With tomatoes, especially early girls, are ready in 60 days. They're the quickest to get ready. That's the first thing that generally most long-time gardeners put in the ground, and that's the main go-to. But from another standpoint, you have to think about the determinant factor. With a determinant tomato, they're going to bear the majority of their fruit in 10 days. So, you're planting these to can, you're planting them to do your sauces. So the best thing you can do is that whenever you put them in the ground, get your calendar out and mark, get that 75 to 80 day window and have it on your calendar, knowing when that way you're prepared. You've got all your supplies. So whenever it comes time to do it, you're not, oh, they're ready, I've got to go get everything. But tomatoes generally 75 to 85 days. Peppers are going to be in the same general vicinity. Squash, of course, going to be a lot faster. They'll get ready in just a week or so. So you have to keep that up.
So make sure that we're ready to can stuff if we have those determinants. Thank you so much for being here, Sydney.
Thank you, guys.
If you have a question for Sydney, you can drop him an email at simplysouthern.tv@alafarm.com, and he may answer it on one of our upcoming shows. Or you can always consult BonniePlants.com or the mobile app Homegrown with Bonnie Plants.
For more information on other stories we featured today, check out their website. You can get more information on the Alabama National Cemetery from the website on your screen. But if you don't have a pencil handy, a Google search for Alabama National Cemetery will take you right to them.
To find out more about the innovative learning environment at Munford Schools, go to the Talladega County School System's website at tcboe.org. You'll find links there to Munford's elementary, middle, and high schools. To find a farmers market close to you, go to the Alabama Farmers Market Authority's website at fma.alabama.gov.
To stay up to date on what's coming up on Simply Southern, take a moment to like our Facebook page. And you can view previous shows you may have missed by visiting our website at simplysouthern.tv.net. I hope you'll be back with us again next Sunday morning. I'm going to try to strike it rich as I go panning for gold.
Plus, we'll tag along as a group of students learns what it takes to make a great steak. Thanks for watching Simply Southern this morning. I'm Mary Johnson.
And I'm Jim Allen. We'll see you again next Sunday morning.
Simply Southern is a production of the Alabama Farmers Cooperative and the Alabama Farmers Federation.